What is up? What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing, man? We are back at my main man, Sean Atwood's channel, man. Y'all show him some love and support, because I just got news that my man, Sean, he had to delete a lot of his videos, man. That hurts a YouTuber. That hurts a YouTuber to lose their channel, to get demonetized, to have to take down videos because of legal issues, especially with Puffy. You know Puffy doing wrong. So, hey, Sean, if you need any help, man, you or Ron, I'm down. You know Uncle Mike down. Y'all know that. I don't play no games. This stupidity stuff. Anyway, check it out, y'all. Uncle Mike is still on vacation. I ain't crazy. I done got out of that heat. Boy, it get hot all of a sudden like an oven. The sun don't beam down on you. See, in the United States, that's your warning that you got to go in, because the sun has just start cooking your skin, right? Not here, because it's already sunny, but all of a sudden it just the heat start coming around you like this. You be like, what's going on? Come find out your body temperature's overheating. So anyway, hey, was Jay-Z forced to drop Buzbee motion? Was Jay-Z forced to drop the motion? Tommy and Sean and them, all this stuff. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Uncle Mike, let's check it out, baby. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Like I said, we've got another show tonight, and we've got huge Jay-Z news, and there's some Epstein news. Tommy,
I want to hear about that.
Emailed me earlier, just making me aware of what was going on with Jay-Z. It is so strange that all this is getting dropped all of a sudden, but Tommy has looked at it closely, and we're going to be getting into that. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I love that last guest. That dude's he's a class act. I love that. I really do. And I'm pretty excited about that Epstein news too.
Yeah, we had Ori on about 4 or 5 years ago. So if people missed the part one, he just lays out his life story in the part one. But tonight he kind of gave us a deep dive on his knowledge of Diddy and MDC.
Yeah, there's just something about the old school guys that gives you a really different image in your head of the word gangster. No disrespect to any of the youngsters out there, but kind of just a different feel of gangster. You do time with those guys. They're cool to be around. Very, very respectful guys, and you just drop down and listen to them, because the stories they tell us, like, the names they're talking about, and some of the craziest stories ever. Love that stuff. I really do. I love that stuff.
Tommy, did you catch the story where Ori said he had researched Diddy's prior conviction, and he talked about the switching of the states, and it led him to believe that Diddy became an informant at that moment?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? We're gonna find a lot out, man. I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be an absolute hoot, and it has begun. Hollywood's unraveling. You look at what's happening with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and all of the other stuff that's breaking, and it's just the curtain's peeled back. The problem is that the internet lets everybody talk now, and we all get a chance to weigh in on these people, and it's changing. It really is.
Facts.
Which is a good thing. It needs a change.
Hey guys, Uncle Mike here with big news. YouTube has changed my life, and now it's your turn. See, Uncle Mike was tired of being broke after every payday, so I decided to do something about it. So I invested over about $9,000 in YouTube courses and online coaching. Man, I was determined to change. But guess what? None of these systems gave me the one-on-one coaching that I needed. So I created my own YouTube course with the help that you need to make sure that you succeed. If you're ready to learn and you're not afraid to put in the work, you too can make a real change. Sign up now, and Uncle Mike will send you the 4 videos that got me started. 100% free. Click the word more below and look for our YouTube growth system. That's our course. Now, let's get back to this video.
So a headline here, Jay-Z changes tack in Sean Combs' lawsuits. And have you read, I know Tisa Tells was reading it out earlier about this motion. What is your
Yes.
reaction? Do you want to just first let's do you want to explain to the viewers what's actually happened, because it's quite complex, isn't it?
It's a little bit confusing because there's so many different moving parts in this. But so there was a lawsuit filed, and the lawsuit that was filed originally just had Sean Combs in it, and a celebrity A and a celebrity B. Celebrity A was a man, celebrity B was a woman, but we didn't know who they were, and that was filed, I think, back in October. And then after a period of time where they couldn't cut a deal, I mean, call it what you will. I mean, that's how this happens. If you want to, and I know people go, oh, that's so sleazy. It's past prosecution time, right? So this gives people an opportunity to get some justice, and they would like to spare the victim from having to go through all of that process, and they'd like to give Voldemort here an opportunity to maybe not have his name out in the press, right? So when the deal isn't made, there's they announce that they refile it, and they refile it with the name Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z. They do not name celebrity B, which could lead you to believe a whole lot of things, man. maybe celebrity B are paid off. There's some reason that we don't know who celebrity B is. But Sean Carter went on a scorched earth policy, trying to go after the attorney that was filing the lawsuit, gentleman from Houston named Buzbee. And allegedly, he was doing some really incredible tactics. There are people who have signed statements saying that people were sent down with fake badges to try to get previous clients of the Busby law firm to say things about him. There was even someone allegedly offered 10 grand to go in there and file one of these things. And these people have sworn to this. Now, whether or not that stuff is true, of course, they deny it. And they deny it so much that he filed a lawsuit against the Busby law firm saying that he had violated Rule 11B. And Rule 11B basically says that you knew that this was absolute BS, and you brought this to court anyway. This is a heavy-duty allegation among lawyers, and going to court, this is a heavy-duty allegation. You're basically saying you're a lowlife, and you did this for revenge, or you did this for, right, all kinds of reasons. And that was the lawsuit that was countersued basically from the Jay-Z team. And after Busby fired back and said, hey, let me tell you what's really going on. They're going down here and they're bringing up all my old clients, and we've been recording this and blah, blah, blah. It just was a tit for tat. And the judge, Annalise Torres, says, you know what? I'm done with this. These suits that are being filed, and this is a while ago, but you're filing frivolous stuff. And she said this to Spyro. You got to stop bringing these lawsuits, these filings, because they're basically ridiculous. And today, or the 4th, I guess, so that was yesterday, they withdrew that lawsuit, or filed a motion to withdraw that lawsuit. And here's the thing that could get really interesting. I'm not exactly 100% sure if you can just do that. I'm really not. I guess we would have to have somebody of a much smarter legal mind, but I'm kind of the belief that you're now going to have to go in front of a judge and explain why you accused a lawyer
in the first place.
In the first place. So why all of a sudden is this, not a big deal? And then right on the heels of that, Jay-Z's camp files a new motion to withdraw. And they change up kind of how they wrote it, because you see, the first time they filed that motion to withdraw, it went something along the lines of, this is just absurd. There's no chance that this ever could have happened. Now they're picking apart, like, they're going at this more of the, like, almost it sounds like technicalities. Like they're kind of trying to get this thing thrown out. But again, trying to get it thrown out. It's pretty damn wild that he withdrew that lawsuit. And it's got everybody that in the Diddyverse, anybody that speculates, anybody that thinks, hey, that was my fiance, Relatable Reese. And she's going to be on with me tomorrow, by the way. It's bizarre, honestly, how many people are weighing in on this, and in particular, believing that he's keeping his powder dry, so to speak. Because for a long time, a lot of people on the internet started to speculate that in the next X period of time, and there are people predicting kind of windows, and I've heard 2 weeks, and I've heard 10 days, and very recently, somebody online has predicted within the next 48 hours. And this person happens to have a pretty good track record. You know, this person happens to have a pretty good track record. So I don't know, maybe he's pulling back because of the fact that that's what a lot of people are speculating. It's personally not my opinion on this stuff. I have a slightly different take. And I think what they're afraid of is that they're going to get in front of Judge Torres, and Judge Torres is going to say, so you filed a lawsuit alleging that this person is basically violating what attorneys are supposed to do. And then you did this, and this, which some of might amount to felonious behavior, right? This stuff may rise to the level of felony. You know, you start carrying around badges and pretending to work for law enforcement. They frown on that in this country in a really big way. They have no sense of humor at all because you're basically mocking the people that are going to be arresting you, so to speak. It's if those allegations are true, and it is, what they allege, that's what came out of that camp. If those allegations happen to be true, then I don't think they want to go in front of the judge only to have that come up, because that's going to be real bad for all parties involved. You start asking questions like, was this just the people, let's say, hypothetically at Rock Nation that did this, or is this maybe the attorneys were aware of it? Because when you start having behavior like that, you got to start asking yourself, why in the name of God? There's something seriously wrong. But this is where we're at. And now you're going to have a lot of people speculating, and it certainly looks like he's a lot less afraid now about trying to maintain his reputation. And maybe now it's time to try to maintain business. And I don't know. Who knows? This could get worse. Maybe freedom. But for whatever reason, he doesn't want his attorney concentrating on that case. He doesn't want to go in front of that judge. And if everybody has been alleging or everybody has been predicting, there may be a whole bevy of bad news coming that guy's way. You, I assume, heard it as well.
All right, I'm just going to give a bit of background on what it's been reported.
You see his cup. You see what his cup says? That's funny right there. Watch this.
On that case, he doesn't want to go in front of that judge. And if everybody has been alleging or everybody has been predicting, there may be a whole bevy of bad news coming that guy's way. You, I assume, heard it as well.
Look at his cup say. His cup says allegedly. That's a cool cup.
All right, I'm just going to give a bit of background on what it's been reported in the news then. So it says here, this is some news you want to know. On February the 4th, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, wrote to the judge, Torres, to inform her that he was withdrawing his complaint against Buzbee, the Texas trial attorney. The plaintiff is one of over 200 people who have accused Diddy of SA. Diddy's being held, blah, blah, blah. Newsweek sought email comment from Spiro and Buzbee on Wednesday. Spiro had filed his complaint under Federal Civil Rule 11B, which states that an attorney must ensure that a legal filing, quote, is not being presented for any improper purpose, such as to harass, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation, and that, quote, the claims, defenses, and other legal contentions are warranted by existing law or by a non-frivolous argument for extending, modifying, or reversing existing law or for establishing new law. Spiro had argued that Buzbee knew the plaintiff's claim was false and that Buzbee had therefore violated Rule 11B, but has now withdrawn that allegation. The withdrawal comes after Torres sharply rebuked Spiro for his personal attacks on Buzbee. On December 26, Torres refused Jay-Z's application to dismiss the R-word lawsuit, and she sharply criticized Spiro for the inflammatory language used against Buzbee. She noted that Spiro had filed a litany of letters and motions attempting to impugn the character of the plaintiff's lawyer, many of them expounding on the purported urgency of this case. So the next section is what people are saying. In his letter to Judge Torres, Spiro explained that he's writing, quote, on behalf of defendant Sean Carter, to respectfully request that Mr. Carter's motion for sanctions pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11, be withdrawn at this time without prejudice. And without prejudice means that Carter's legal team reserves the right to file a new complaint against Buzbee if required. Quote, we have discussed this matter with counsel for plaintiff who consents to this submission and agrees the withdrawal is without prejudice, Bureau. So the next section is titled, What Happens Next? Buzbee and his legal team will be seeking disclosure of Jay-Z's movements around the time of the VMA after show party in 2000, the time when the plaintiff alleges the R word, and Jay-Z is continuing with an extortion lawsuit against Buzbee he has filed in California. So that is the news as reported a few hours ago today.
It's getting to the point, I think, where they're going to have to. They realize they're going to have to go to court, and it's also. I think they also realize that the entire country is looking at them and saying, "This is an embarrassment. You think you're better, or you think you're more important, or you think you're special because if anybody else in this country gets this process laid on them, you don't get to say." Well, no, I'm too important to go to court and have other people decide this by a jury. So I'm going to file something now that says I don't have to do this. What this says to me, and I think to anybody that's been following it, is they have to admit that all of the stupid arguments that they threw out there, and let's keep it real. If somebody says, I took the 13-year-old said about 20-minute ride from there to the party, and they want to hold them to that 20 minutes. So if there is a property out there that's 32 minutes away, they go, well, that can't be it. can't be that one. This is where the common sense stuff that everybody seems to throw out the window when things like this happen. How big a gathering was this?
Facts.
How many valet drivers did they have at this house? How many bartenders did they have at this house? Or people walking around carrying drinks, or models that were hired, or the people that went in and cleaned up afterwards, right? All of the people that had anything to do with that party, I promise you, this guy Buzbee's no chump. I'm guessing that they probably have a lot of stuff like that already. I think they probably have a pretty good idea. And you go and you lay your cards down. And I bet they got together. This is completely theory on my part, but I bet that they got together, sat down, and they sort of laid the cards out and said, well, we should probably meet in court because, in the court of public opinion, they could probably crush them if they just keep leaking a little bit of information at a time. Let's just head on into court. But on the other hand, there may just be a huge bomb coming down the pike that this guy has to get out in front of, because certainly there seems to be a lot of chatter, right, in the Diddyverse. There's a lot of people in the Diddyverse that are talking about big things coming. And very often when filings like this happen, they take a lot of people to get them put together. You know what I mean? They have paralegals that are running and chasing stuff down, and they have all of these, people going to the printers, and someone maybe leaks a little something out to somebody that they watch on YouTube, or they, this is how we get good stuff. And there's a lot of people who I kind of trust online that seem to think that this dude's in for a train wreck.
Wolfie wants you to elaborate on withdrawn without prejudice. Okay.
If you anything that they say in the United States with prejudice, as a criminal, you're really excited. But if they withdraw your charges without prejudice, what it means is we're not charging you right now. So we want you to go home and sweat for the next, I don't know how long it is until the statute of limitations is up. And they play those games. They really do. Sometimes this is no joke. I've talked about it on my channel before, but they came and got me on the last day of the statutes of limitations on a crime. To the day, they came and got me. Bummer.
Viewers, put a 1 in the live chat if you think something heavy is coming Jay-Z's way, hence this withdrawal. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that is not the case. And Tommy, it sounds like you've been tuned in to some of the channels posturing theories on this. What's the lead theories right now?
Most of the people believe that there are going to be some allegations that are coming out that look remarkably like the allegations that happened with Diddy. And there may actually be some people, allegedly, there's a lot of people that are suggesting we're going to see these things come together, that we may have this may be breaking open a lot bigger. And that's why that seems kind of frivolous right now with everything that might be coming down the pike. Certainly, everybody that's been following this, like her, don't like her, Jag predicts a lot of stuff on the money. And from the very, very beginning of this, Jaguar Wright has been saying between the two of these people, he is much smarter, he's much more patient, and he's much
Jaguar
more
been
evil.
putting,
And kind of hard to argue with,
Shout out to Jag, because Jag's about to be proven right again on something, and it's going to be massive. And please watch the Jaguar Wright Effect channel. He's doing amazing work over there. And when that news comes out, we will be contacting Jag right away to hopefully get her on the channel to analyze the situation that we hope may manifest, allegedly.
Here's the thing. This doesn't pass the smell test. There's a lot of stuff out there that so many people have alleged for so long. We've heard Jaguar talk about plane trips where they took people from other countries and allegedly flew them into this country and then right over to his office to sign a record contract. We all heard the clip where he said that I could sign that contract, right? Or I could go out the window. Like all of these crazy stories of people being flown all over the country. And Jag says, I'm not even going to use that. I'll let Jag do it when she comes on. But there have really been a lot of talk about this guy being with people who are a lot younger than him. And out of his own mouth, he's gone on shows and screwed up the timetable for how old Beyoncé was when they started hanging out. That's the problem when you got to keep a lie going for a really long period of time, and you've been with someone, you've got it screwed up. You start dropping dates, and they go, "Wait a sec, let's run that back. That doesn't add up." She was how old then? And there's a lot of pictures that have been surfacing recently that show the two of them together in some pictures where she looks really, really a little too young to have a learner's permit. I'm kidding, but definitely in that that preteen range, with a lot younger than what he claims. And then there's Foxy Brown, and there's a lot of other people that he hung out with that were of, let's just say, below the age of consent. That has been alleged, and there's about 1 billion pictures. And he also went on tour with R. Kelly. Keep it real. I'm sorry, he went on tour with R. Kelly,
and including Rymia's mum as well. The story there. So Lorraine is asking Tommy, do you reckon Jay-Z has paid off Jane Doe?
You mean the 13-year-old Jane Doe?
Yes.
No, I don't. I don't think that is happened. That's not what we've seen yet. It would be really interesting, wouldn't it, at this point, to see that take place? That would probably be very telling in and of itself.
Pearl, I'm not aware that Natanya Rubin has been broken into. Pearl has said, I don't understand why they're going after her if they're not worried about her case. Well, Natanya is an amazing speaker, such a powerful woman.
No
she's been through hell. And the fact that she's over the target and she's talking and not backing down, that people get broken into when they get over the target. This is an acknowledgement of her success at what she's achieving, bringing attention to what happened to her. And if you're not familiar, folks, check out Natanya's story. She was in the club the night J-Lo allegedly took the gun in, and she's alleging that Diddy shot her in the face. It wasn't the rapper, Shine, but she said Shine was in the mix, and Shine was capping off shots as well.
What's fascinating about her story too, Sean, is that it has never wavered a half an inch. From the very first time she's told that story to the very end. And that's the beautiful thing about the truth, right? You just keep telling the story and it's never going to change. There's not going to be anything. And she said she saw both muzzle flashes go off. However, she's staring down the barrel of the one that actually had the projectile hit her. That makes a lot of sense. She knew who fired that, and she's always has. I'd like to hope that some level of justice is going to come to her, because she's a really great person. And in the Diddyverse, I'm sorry, there's no one, of all the people in the Diddyverse, she's got to be one of the few people that you can't dislike, like Ramirez. You can't dislike him. There's not too many people in the Diddyverse that different sides don't have opinions on, but those people are just the kindest people you'll come across,
Yeah, and I'd like to personally, if Natanya's watching, I'd like to personally invite her on to come and tell the story of what happened. Apparently, it was yesterday. She was broken into. All they did was move a chair to the middle of her garage and messed with a camera, mind games, like the Manson family.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's disturbing. She's a great person too, man. Positive energy, thoughts and prayers.
Sarah wants to know, Tommy, when will the Enterprise letter drop now? Do you think the male in the suit may be Jonathan Oddy? Can prosecution not just force DNA for Ramirez and Chuck? So there's about 3 questions there.
The Jonathan Oddy question is fascinating. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know how easy it would be for him to get the. Yeah, maybe that's a great question. And it hadn't occurred to me at all. As far as the Enterprise letter dropping, the prosecution is playing a lot of games, and I think that they're playing chess. They're going to try to push this out as long as they can. And as I've said before, they just inundate the prosecution with discovery. So they may interview 250 witnesses. We know now that there's going to be 3 people that they say were victims, right? Victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3. But there's still right now hundreds of witnesses that they've got, and they're culling through all of this stuff in the mountains. I mean, they're talked about 100 plus terabytes of information, which is mind shattering, right? But if you got to paw through all of that stuff, I would imagine it's going to be overwhelming. I think they're trying to hold off painting the picture, and it's weird because the letter that the superseding indictment, which really wasn't a superseding indictment. In the true sense of the word, it wasn't. They didn't add any new crimes to it. He was still only charged with 3 crimes. They added 2 different witnesses, so to speak, but there was not. What they did do, though, is right below it, they described the Enterprise. They didn't do it the way it would normally be done, where you would have, this person did this and they did it at such and such a time. That has to come. It's part of the prosecution. But I would imagine the 17th of March is the last day that all of those things, and that is also the date that they would like to have the cutoff for the prosecution to have any superseding indictments. But once again, if they find the body in a trunk, 2 days after that, I promise you he's going to get hit with a superseding indictment. If it's something explosive, then the courts don't care. And honestly, it's supposed to be the scales of justice doing this one, but it only really does that once you're in there and playing the game and they make decisions. But the odds are so stacked against you. It's just crazy, as my man English Sean can tell you.
Shout out to Cornelia. It's a birthday shout out. Congratulations.
Happy birthday. Very cool.
So
yeah, you can't fight them. You're going to lose.
We've been inundated with interest in the Grammys all week, and Pearl's saying, did I see when Kendrick Lamar won his Grammy, Beyoncé was dancing to the song Not Like Us, but Jay-Z couldn't be seen. The whole crowd sang the part A minor, the whole crowd. I think Pearl wants your thoughts on that, Tommy.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't see it. I boycotted the Grammys. I've looked at some of the content creators that I dig. I looked at a couple of clips. I have not seen that one yet. I swear to you guys, it's going to sound crazy to you, but you start to create content and you start to begin to get an idea of the power of a view. And I'm not giving the sons of Satan that put on the Grammys and all of that BS around it a vote. And it's just a personal thing, but I'm done. I mean, I feel like I've been paying for the freak offs. I feel like I've had a hand in paying for the freak offs, and I'm just not going to do it ever again. And I'm boycotting anything that comes out of that city. And you know what? Vegas is what it is, but Hollywood's got to be Sin City. Vegas should be called Gambling and Whore City. Gambling in legal prostitute city, but maybe not Sin City. I think that's got to be Hollywood.
So Anne is asking, have you heard the most recent cases brought up against Diddy? They are vile.
They are absolutely vile, and it's getting to the point. Like I was saying last night on my show, instead of reading every one of them now, because it's getting to the point where it's almost salacious, and I don't want to feel like it almost gets crazy. There's so many of them, and they continue to come. But if I had to sum it up, right, it wouldn't be difficult, would it? It sums up something like this: you're gonna get chemicaled. That, if it happened, they got done with chemicals. A lot of creepiness, things like "this one's ready to party," or those kind of statements, and a complete disconnect from humanity. People begging, people vomiting, going through whatever's going on in their life, and they're laughing and yucking it up. That is, and I'm not saying this happens, folks. I'm saying this is what is being alleged in every one of these suits. It continues to come back that there's this disconnect between the person and the victim. That's, it borders on hard to wrap your brain around. It really, it's the cruelty is just incredible. But they continue to come down the pike, and they continue to sound an awful lot alike. And I know, and look, by way of playing both sides, I know there are people who are going to go, wow, it's real easy now, isn't it? All you got to do is come out and say exactly what you just said, but you got to have some corroborating stuff. You have to sort of be able to have, be able to put you at a party. That's why all of these things are so funny. Can you imagine the amount of photos that were taken at that house with the horseshoe-shaped driveway? Got any idea how many photos were snapped at that after party? This is a joke. These games that they're playing are a joke. We live in a day and age where anybody that tracks this stuff down, trust me, there are Getty images out there of those parties. People know where those parties took place. People had to book those, right? Taxes. Think of all the stuff that's involved in that. Pay stubs. It's going to come out. This is going to be a hell of a year, man. It's going to be a hell of a year for Hollywood. They need to sweep it out.
The questions are coming in thick and fast, but firstly, we've got almost 2,000 watching across all platforms. There's Tommy's YouTube channel link in the description box, and the Lifeboat is presently at 28,200 subscribers. So let's help Tommy get to 30,000 subscribers sometime this month, please. If you're watching it on replay,
my brother.
Link is in the description box.
2 more planes hit each other in the U.S. on a runway.
When?
I just saw the update on my phone. Just saw it. 2 more.
What?
2 more. Yeah, not kidding.
Properly crashed or just brushed?
I'm not sure. It was a flash that just went across the top of my screen. But if you look it up right now, I guarantee you're going to see it.
Let me have a look. Real quick.
It seems to me that that's getting to be a bit frightening too.
Plane crash in the last 5 hours. Crash between 2 commercial aircrafts 2 hours ago. Fox News. What? Delta plane's tail sliced off in horror runway crash at Seattle. Japan and Delta Airlines planes crash at Seattle Airport.
What? Are you kidding me?
What is going on, man?
Dude, I gotta fly back to the United States, man. Another airplane done crash. Man, I might stay here for a little bit.
Yeah, scary.
Japan Airlines plane crashed into the tail of a Park Delta. Shows the scenes, blah, blah, blah. No injuries have yet been reported. Travel delays. Yeah, it's not as heavy as the others, but yeah, there's definitely been some. It's weird, isn't it? All this. All right, so you've got a question.
Makes me want to hop on an airliner and come to see you. You know what I mean? Makes me want to fly to Europe.
I'm getting the train to go. Bugger getting on the plane. All right, so Nikki is asking, according to Jaguar on the Piers Morgan show, she said Jay-Z and Beyoncé were allegedly worse than Diddy. If he goes down, as in Jay-Z, I think, will Beyonce go down too?
That's a really interesting question. I feel like she's probably been seeing this coming. Imagine if there's one of two things happening. Either this guy isn't really as bad as everybody says he is. I guess there could be a third thing, because Jag has also said that he keeps Bebe, according to Jag, he keeps Bebe doped up. You know, that there's an awful lot of opioid use and things that he does to keep her chemically enslaved, kind of a thing. And if that's the truth, that certainly could be a big one. But we've heard a bunch of rumblings in the Diddyverse about her trying to separate her name from his in paperwork. And also that big push to get her kid trademarked and all of that. I think that I don't think that evil woman is as dumb as some people think. And I'll bet you that she's prepared for this. I don't think she'll get hemmed up in the process. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was knee deep in freak offs, but I don't see it. But who knows? I could be wrong.
Question from Dub. The Jay-Z case is similar to the Diddy case. Do you think Jay-Z will go to the same prison as Diddy if it gets that far?
It would have to really get that far. And by that, I mean, as of right now, what is the accusations have not been, this is a civil action right now. This is not a criminal action. Now, maybe, just maybe they know something we don't. And maybe this is going to, hop the curb. I don't know. I'm not sure, what kind of things could be going on behind the scenes. But as of the moment, what's going on is a civil action. If you hear Buzbee's name, that's a civil lawsuit. He doesn't have anything to do with the federal prosecutor's office. He's not fighting Agnifilo. He's fighting Spyro.
Someone just asked about the Amazon link in the YouTube description box. That's because this book is coming out tomorrow. Sit Downs with Female Gangsters. It's getting published tomorrow, folks.
Nice.
And the link's in the description box. You can pre-order it today. This is Amazon UK, though. It's not available in the States yet. But it'll get there. All right, so Rosie's asking, are these cases a part of the RICO, and what organizations will be charged under the RICO?
Okay. So the stuff that we're talking about right now concerning Jay-Z, nothing that has happened to Jay-Z is criminal. There have been no accusations made against him. And I know that that's going to sound crazy to a lot of people in the world, because you're going to go, what the hell are you talking about? He's been charged with the R word. Obviously, that would be a crime. But he's being charged under a law in New York that allows people who have been sort of time barred out to take a shot at somebody financially. They may not have an opportunity to get back in front of a judge in a legal aspect, but they can get back in there under a civil action. And for that, because of that, you can see cases that are 35 and 40 years old. And if they can make the case, then they can make the case. Now, this one is 25 years old. But yeah, well, that kind of has to be the most popular rumor on the planet right now. If there's a bigger rumor going around, I haven't come across it just yet.
Are criminal charges incoming for Jay-Z? Or are they waiting until after the Super Bowl?
It would be the right thing to do. I mean, he's got so much. Here's the thing: if it were me, just let's just play for a second and say maybe there's a chance that they may bring some charges against old Jay-Z. I'd kind of like to see it the day of the Super Bowl, like right before the kickoff. You know what I mean? Have that baby be the headline. This just in. That would be gangster. Maybe go down there and hem him up at the stadium. Oh man, that would be content for a few days, wouldn't it? I don't think that's going to happen, people. I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, I don't think that this is going to end up criminal. Not this one for sure is not. But there is something coming. Whether or not it's going to be a slew of civils or whether or not it's going to be a criminal thing, no one really knows. But the man has not been charged with any crime, none. He's there's no crime out there pending against Sean Carter.
So far, facts.
Sean Combs, on the other hand, he's got a whole bevy of charges against him. Oh, sorry, back to the RICO. So on the RICO side of it, the people that are going to be listed in Sean Combs' RICO case, I know people keep saying it's a RICO case and no one else is charged in it. There are plenty of other people charged in it. You just haven't seen them, and you're going to. But the prosecution doesn't want to lay all of the cards on the table, you know, especially when you have a defendant who has allegedly a history of tampering with witness lists every time you put one out. Every time you put a name out of somebody in this, allegedly, he's reached out to him. In one case, 56 times over the course of 2 days. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. So they're playing their cards as close to their chest as possible, and I'm sure that would be the justification. You know, they would put, you know, if you ask them why this is going on the way it is, they're going to say, you know, this is somebody that's trying to tamper with my case, with our case. They're not going to do that. And they shouldn't.
Question from Linda. Could Jay have made a deal which required him to drop his suits?
Yeah, he could have. Absolutely. But we haven't seen the case close yet, which is if he did make a deal, or maybe, well, you know what, though? If we're going to go that route, let's go that route. Because back in the day when this first came out, they said that there was a lot of other cases pending and that he had other cases not pending. He had other lawsuits that could have been filed as well. And that came out of Voldemort's camp. His attorney had said that this was one of a multitude of lawsuits that Buzbee was going to be bringing. Perhaps after seeing how this went down on the first one, maybe he said to Buzbee, let's make a package deal on those other three. And, you know, I'll drop that lawsuit against you and we'll go to court on this one. Those kind of things happen. They could be back there cutting deals. They definitely could be, but I don't know that they are.
Truth be told, did you know that Cassie's husband was in Beyonce's halftime show? I didn't know.
No, he wasn't. But
he wasn't.
He sure as hell looks like the guy. And I am not. No, here's the thing. I did this. I ran with this. The very first time I saw the guy, we did a story where I just touched on it, and then I had to go up. One of the people on the lifeboat, one of the crew, sent me an email and said, "You got to check this out. It looks a lot like that dude. It's a different guy. The guy that you're talking about is part of a group called the Cowboy something or others, but it looks a hell of a lot like him. I had to do a retraction show on it, but yeah, he definitely looks the part. But I fell for it the first time.
I wonder why they would plant a doppelganger in there like that. What are they trying to signal?
That's it. You know, it's interesting, but it was a great story. I wish it was real because I would have had a really good time with that.
Bailey's wondering, is 50 Cent gonna out Meech?
Big Meech. I don't know. You mean Big Meech, the guy that just got out of prison? I don't know the answer to that.
Isn't 50 Cent talking about he's just got Justin Bieber to talk?
About his yeah. I don't know about Meech. I mean, I know who Meech is. If we're talking about Big Meech, he just recently got out of the feds. I was on a couple 3 different prison yards with that dude. We ran in parallel prison circles.
Get your questions in, folks, for all things Diddy, Jay-Z, Hollywood, Grammys.
I'll tell you what, though. Meech is a gangster. If he, he's the real deal. That dude's a gangster. Like, he soldiered up. He went to prison. He was, if you're one of those people that are fond of guys that do it right, hold their mud, soldier up, and all that. Big Meech was a real solid dude, and everywhere I was ever at, he was just respectful to everybody, and everybody was respectful to him. He was a good dude.
Be careful how you answer this. Juanita might be trying to stalk you, Tommy. Just off the conversation for a minute. Love that photo on the back wall of the building over the bridge. Is that near your home, Tommy?
Yeah, that's near a home I used to have, but no, it's a covered bridge from New England. So a painting from a town I used to live in.
Jesus, where have you been? This whole stream has been about Jay-Z dropping the motion against Buzbee. He's still got the extortion thing.
Oh no, yeah. What he's dropping is the 11B, and what he is admitting is this lawsuit isn't frivolous. This lawsuit isn't made up. This isn't being brought. And that was, if you remember, the first statement that he came out with, where he called him an 800 numbered ambulance chaser in a cheap suit, and I'm coming after you. I've seen your type before. You're not going to get 1 rent cent out of me. Like he really went off, right? He bowed right up on him, and now he's going about that. And it's going to be really interesting to see what's up, because the Rule 11B thing, you're really supposed to treat that thing with some respect. You're accusing somebody of in the world of lawyering, that's a pretty nasty thing to do. And we might see the judge say, and they know they have to have a hearing. It's not, you just can't say he filed a motion to withdraw that. So they're going to have to at least go in there in front of it. And yeah, maybe Buzbee says he's cool with it or whatever, but that might be an interesting hearing. I'd like to know how that goes down. Because it won't just go away. It still has to go in front of the judge.
From Pearl, have you seen the letter that's come forward with regard to Kathy White's unaliving, naming Diddy, Sleazy, and MG Bay? They're presuming is Mary J. Beyoncé's even mentioned.
No, I have not. Man, I'd like to. I'm going to have to chase that down. I did not hear about that. But I would love to.
All right. Can we get a Tommy Scoville narrated audiobook of sit downs with female gangsters? Opportunity to plug my book. It's coming out tomorrow, folks. Amazon link is in the description right now. And it's based on 10 sit downs I did with some extremely dangerous women on the podcast, and expanded stories. And yeah, it's part of a free book series. The next one's sit downs with serial killers and murderers.
I'll just pirate it. I'll tell you later. I'm kidding.
All right. So next question is from Pearl. Cassie's husband Alex does work for the Compton Cowboys, who were used in the show. Why use them? I'm sure there are other cowboy companies they could use.
Yeah, no, he's not. It's the guy that you're looking at is an actor who's been in a couple of different things. I promise you, if you go look at the thumbnail that I did on it, I explained it pretty early on in it. You can look at it later. I promise. This was chased down. We really did. We chased it all the way down. That was the story. That I got it backwards. That was the original story, is that he was part of the Cowboy Comptons or whatever. He is not. The person that we're seeing is an actor that has done several roles. He almost always plays cowboys, and you would recognize him from at least one other thing that he did, but it is not. It's not her husband.
Thanks for the super chat, Jesus. Nikki, the judge wants Buzbee and Jay-Z back in court sometime in Feb, even if Jay-Z drops charges against Buzbee. Will the case still go on with Jane Doe?
Yes.
Let me see it one more time.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see that. They're going to have to decide that thing in court. No one has talked about withdrawing the lawsuit. The only thing that got amended today at all was they want to come off of this absolutely stupid crap they said in the beginning about this thing being made up. You realize how bad that looks to those of us that are on the ball? And I don't mean from a criminal standpoint. I mean from a human being standpoint. The 13-year-old alleged victim, if this is really a victim, the level of disrespect that shows to the victim, to just say, you actually take a shot at the attorney and do all of these different underhanded things that have been alleged. That's ugly stuff. And now to just go up, I take it back. Take it back. Sorry. It's bad form, and it's pretty shocking, honestly.
So we had a hilarious analysis of the Grammys with Lionel. And
I love Lionel.
If you missed that, folks, check it out. Pearl is asking you, Tommy, why do you think Chappelle Rowan wore a really tall dunce's clown hat to the Grammys with clown makeup, then gave an anti-record company speech?
You know what? That clip I have seen, but I have no idea. I think anybody's guess. I know a lot of people in the industry right now are. Let me rephrase that. The industry is being reimagined right now by a lot of people. You know, you got kids that can make hit records in their living room that don't need anybody's help to do anything, and it's changing how the record labels or if you can even call them record labels anymore. I don't know what the hell you call them now, but that it is and I'm not going to say alleged because I think everybody on the planet knows that industry is one of the largest sort of Ponzi scheme scams that has ever gone on since the history of man. They've been taking money from one artist, funneling it to another, doing whatever they wanted, printing records in other countries to sell so that they could get under the record count back when they used to do it that way. Well, we only printed 20,000, then they'd sell 300,000 in Europe and not tell anyone or vice versa. It's been a disgusting industry for a really long time. And there's a lot of people that are fed up with it. This goes back a long time, but now more people are starting to Prince, you remember when Prince decided that he was no longer going to call himself Prince and he was going to go by a symbol, and the symbolism behind that was pretty huge. They owned him. They owned his name. They owned his rights, all that stuff. I think more people now are reimagining what a record label or what music is. There are people that are having massive hits without any record labels, and they're forcing places like the Billboard Top 100 to put people on there that don't have a label. And now all bets are off. Now all bets are off.
Yeah, all those publicity stunts at the Grammys reeked of desperation from overinflated egos that are on a road that's crumbling in front of them.
Fast. It really is. It's crumbling fast. Every single time there's a mention of Hollywood, there's no good news anymore ever. There's never that, oh, hey, this is fun. Check it out. We saw this person in this place. It's one time bomb after another. One new piece of information that just makes the last one look, it's just ugly, and it's continuing. And I think that everybody around the world is kind of sick of it. I think we've reached a point where
yes,
it's not fun to fund parties where people are being victimized.
Facts. I think the music industry is ready for a major makeover. I think people like me and Sean Atwood, Jaguar Wright, I think it's time that we can actually make an entry to say, look, we're not like this. They're not like us. We're not like them. We're not like and that's what I should start with right there. We're not like them. We are honest people that's trying to just do music, have fun, party, and help the kids, man, and help people. Look, we're gonna do a part 2 to this. I gotta take a quick break, man. I'm old, man. I can't sit here for hours and a half and listen to this, but it's real deep, juicy stuff. So y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Hey, peace out.